Congratulations, you won by not competing. That's why you probably didn't know that you won, did you? Because you weren't keeping score. And they're sure as hell not going to tell you, the ones who are, because they lost. And the worst thing they could possibly be in their own minds is a loser. Because the whole time that they were sneaking around behind your back, they were kikiing, thinking they were winning, projecting all their self-loathing onto you, calling you a loser. You didn't know that? Well, of course not. Because cowards never say that to your face. They get in karmic herds where they puff each other up and bloat themselves into believing that they're winning, to avoid facing the desperation, sadness, and despair they decided to project onto you and to try to turn your life into. You see, that was the game that they had invented. Ooh, I can avoid feeling this if I attack them and make them feel that way. And that's the game that you won by not competing. You see, when they were just grumpy, it seemed, or being a little bit of a jerk, you understand that it was a power move. They planned that in front of their mirror, you know, like, I want to do this, I want to do this. And then you were actually kind to them. You just, whatever, you know, hope they're okay. They walked out going, yes, I won. Because they look at everything through the lens of power. I didn't think of somebody trying to traumatize me in these sneaky ways while smiling to my face. Like, I couldn't even see the value of doing that. But I guess I was taking for granted that I have this warmth inside that comes from connecting to God. I don't know what it's like to be in the world without that inner sun and that joy. And I would imagine you're the same. Why would you want another person to suffer? That's me. We're all in the light. So if you were to win that game, you feel bad. And if you lose it, you feel real bad. Perhaps you, like me, realized early in your life that if there wasn't a higher force and a God and a destiny and a light, something great that this was all going to lead to, it ain't worth being in. You know? I had a few times where I realized, like, boop, 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 kind of connecting the dots. I'm like, yeah, this world ain't worth a shit if I ain't up to something big. So what's the point, really? Just go around and be better than somebody and die? Gotta be something more. If you're like me, that's the way you thought as a kid. You were going to find that. And you did. And you realized when you found it that God, the one in the Bible that judges and smites and plays favorites, not God. Not the God in me. God in me don't smite, pit anyone against anyone. It's a joyful, loving giant who doesn't need power over others because he has all the power. The more you got to know that God, the more you realize it was you. You were an expression of that. It's resting as yourself without playing games. And that's when you really started to irritate their demons and you really started to win. Their games that you didn't know they were playing helped you find and heal every pocket of trauma from people like them. And now, as you rest in just the simple joy of being alive, gratitude, not worried about what people think, just being happy, accepting who you are and expressing yourself. The more you do that, you've now got a field of light around you that they can't penetrate. And now they're starving. And what's beautiful is, though, the ego structure in them that had them thinking this way and whatever demons were infecting their minds and causing all this projection, that's being stripped away now. And a lot of them are remembering how much they loved you, and they're remembering the moment when they made that other choice. They chose to regard your love with envy and resentment because they didn't feel worthy of love, and they weren't ready to admit that. So they gamed against you and betrayed you and went on this weird journey. But you see, that's all coming smashing down now as you just accept them for who they are, and you accept yourself and your power without shame, and you look at what it is you came here to do, and you invent your own game, which is to say, What do I not know that's possible, that's waiting to be born through me? Let me claim it and show that impossible is nothing. Now you're thinking big, now you're shining. Now they're seeing in you the light that they denied. But they're seeing you're no longer just a personality who has a lot of light. You are that light. And that's what they wanted the whole time. And they helped you clear away blocks to you feeling safe, shining in the world, because they found every point of unsafety. And they poked it to win their weird game. And now, you're ready to shine. You're ready to envelop the world with your heart's love. That golden light can accomplish anything. It's what everybody wants. You are what the world wants. We live in a world of egos, seeking spirit, forgotten who they are. Compassion is definitely justified. But even more so, at least right now, the principle of justice is the most loving thing to stand for. Because justice allows those who lost at the game of making you forget the light. This is what cracks open the containers that kept the light buried within, such that they didn't think there was a God, and they didn't think they had it within them in the first place. Oh, they did. They just weren't ready yet to feel that sadness, shame, and guilt. Now they are. Now they see that you won. And because of their help, you don't need to gloat. But you are, and you should. Feel proud of yourself. It's not easy being a earth angel, star seed, or divine being on this planet just yet. Because it's been ruled for so long by reptilian, matrix, agent, survivalists who did the best they could to survive, made some bad choices. And now, by standing for the justice, you're allowing them to finally get on the road where they really wanted to go the whole time, and discover at the depth of their pain and suffering that light they resented in you lived right at the core of their being, beneath that dark night grieving and shame. The moment they allowed it and decided to accept its existence, the split within them began to heal, and it shined through from within. And whether they spend the rest of their life now in prison, or whether they have a quick turnaround and begin working for the forces of good, you've helped to set their soul on a new path. The path that everybody ends up on eventually, because the path of light is the only path that takes us back to the full realization of who we are. And when we get there, we recognize that our identity was the only thing missing. We forgot who we were. And the only need we ever really had was to remember our true essence, because in the remembrance and recognition, appreciation of our true forgotten identity lies a fulfillment of every need, automatically and beautifully. So collective, congratulations. You won without competing, by shining your light, releasing your attachment to dark patterns, until those who oppressed you were forced to recognize that the competition was always an illusion, and that the greatness they saw in you and they wanted to suppress was also within them.